Hello, hello, Otafest listeners. It is I, Angelo, and I'm here with Jay and Nancy, with Nancy and Jay, and Angelo.
One of those is me.
And Jay, and Nancy, and Angelo, but mostly Jay.
Mostly.
I'm here. It's mostly me. Bow to me.
I'm not worthy. Bow to the leader.
Bow to the food.
Yes.
No, the food submits to me. It becomes calories in my belly.
You think you were born in the food. But I screwed this up already. Oh my god.
You did.
That was a
You
good
You're
try.
think the
shame.
food is your ally. But I was born in it. Molded by it. I
Molded
didn't
by
have dessert until I was already a man.
What a sad
Ouch.
existence.
That is one heck of an instance of delayed gratification.
I have had delayed gratification over the course of this pandemic because there are certain things I will not have unless it's like pretty much as fresh as possible, because let's be honest, most of the time, you try to cook as much food as you can, but there's some stuff that you can't make as well. So you invariably go out to the services of a professional in order to obtain said item, in this case, food item, so that you can enjoy it at its maximum tastiness. And one of them was like pho, and I haven't had pho in all the time that we've had the pandemic, except until about a couple of weeks ago. I was finally able to pop that bubble, and I was super happy about it.
Since patient zero coughed on yonder shore, the man has not imbibed
Yeah.
the Vietnamese soup.
And also sushi was a big one.
God.
Like,
Yeah,
some
that's fair.
people would order, I know, takeout, and I just like, I don't want to
It's
commit
nicer to
it.
go to the place.
Yeah.
agree.
Delivery just doesn't work for things like sushi and I mean, people can be like, oh yeah, you can go to that. I'm like, but I'm paying the money. In fact, I'm paying extra money, especially if you're getting
To
delivered,
get it delivered.
and I'm getting a worse version of it.
Dio
You know?
Yeah.
on multiple times, she's like, I want to get ramen, I want to get pho. And I'm like, let's be real. If we order it through DoorDash or Skip, the odds of it
It's
coming
gonna
and
disappoint
being
you.
like spilled or not good, or just maybe he got stuck in
Cold.
traffic, so it's colder, or the noodles are
Bad
soggier.
texture. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It was legitimately not worth getting, and I want to go
Yeah.
for some nice ramen soon. Soon.
I agree. So, one of the benefits of living where I am is that I can walk down to a place and order takeout and immediately sit down outside on a patio and eat it.
Fair.
It helps. But like, if it's gonna be winter and I'm gonna be cold and I'm gonna be home and pretty homebound and I'm ordering in, I pretty much set my expectation that it's not gonna be as good.
Quite frankly, if this year follows a pattern similar to other years, we might have snow 2 days after this podcast airs.
I knew you were gonna say that. Like,
Also
2
true.
days from now, we will have snow, most likely.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, but you're probably right.
I mean,
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And I don't hope I'm wrong in the opposite direction. I don't hope it snows before this is even out.
yeah, that would be weird. But also, I'd be really disappointed from like a home maintenance standpoint, because so on Saturday, which was Saturday. So on Saturday, I got my ass out of bed and we went outside and raked all the leaves up and, mulched all of it and threw it in the green bin. My green bin was full and I didn't even get to like the 80% mark. So you're like, oh, it's fine. I'll wait for next week. After this one goes out and it's emptied, I'll wait for next week and I'll do the second round because there's still leaves falling, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If it snows before then, I'm going to have a ground full of soggy, dead leaves. That is so much more annoying to clean up than just like freshly fallen or like fallen and dry leaves.
True.
I just don't want to have to deal with that.
We had our leaves raked up. We raked up all our leaves earlier this week, and you can't tell.
Ooh.
You can't tell.
Yeah, you can't tell.
There's already
Not at
more
all.
leaves now than there was when we raked them up.
Same.
I don't think I've touched a rake in like almost a decade.
Yesterday, we raked up some leaves, made a pile, and threw Ilya into it, and it was the cutest thing ever.
Oh my god. Please tell me you got video
You
of that.
tried to recycle
There
them.
is some images, some pictures, I believe.
You tried to mulch my granddaughter. How dare
Yes.
Please no.
Yes, we were certain she would fertilize the lawn well.
you? She probably
Speaking-
would. All that fur.
Oh my god. No,
I mean-
those toasty marshmallow ears.
There's nitrates
That's the best
and
part.
And fertilizers in dog poop and pee, as long as they don't constantly do it in the same place. But let's be real, you got to pick up those puppy landmines. No one likes stepping in those.
No. Be a good pet owner. Pick those up.
Yes.
I almost got adopted by a cat on the weekend.
Oh,
We came across a stray, and it walked us to and from bubble tea and almost came home with me. I was just like,
Oh my
on the
God.
way back, we were already like, what should we name her? Is it even a her? It's so cute. What would we name her? Oh God, what am I doing? I shouldn't do that. It's not even mine. I can't name it.
I once got
we-
escorted by a cat while walking to a bar, and it felt kind
How?
of magical. Except
Yeah.
I got up to an intersection, and he wouldn't come closer to the intersection. I was like, well, that's kind of smart. But then he started like meowing at me, being like, "Come back! Where the hell are you going? You're mine now. You belong to me." And I'm like, "No, I'm going to Wings Night. It's down the road."
I don't know if cats like. I'm sure there are stray animal populations in Calgary, just like there are in any major city. But I don't really know if we have any significant stray animal population to the ability where I think I could ever say that if I saw a cat or dog wandering around outside, I would not assume it was already owned. Like I just don't think that really happens in Calgary. Like, yes, you could, quote unquote, adopt an animal that you see outside that is of the dog or cat variety. But I would always be like, I'm pretty sure this has already been owned by somebody.
You know, I want to argue with you. I want to disagree. I'd be like, of course there's stray dogs out there. Of course there's stray cats. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what?
No.
No, I don't really think that
No.
way. Back in Windsor, it was different. Back in Windsor, there was a stray dog that lived on our street that just all of the neighborhood kids just loved. We called him Shadow because he was like a big black lab. No one owned him. He would just occasionally walk by when we're playing in the yard, and we'd just all pet him and hug him and have a great time. But over in Calgary, even when I was living in Okotoks, it doesn't really seem that way. Like,
You know
if
why?
I saw a dog or a cat, I would never think of, oh, that's a stray. I would think, oh, weird that they're out here, but okay, have a good day.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like whatever dog and animal service bylaw isn't doing a great job. You know what also does a great job? The coyotes.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, you're right. You are right, but wow, I wish you weren't right, and I wish I didn't think about that.
I think it's a
Yep.
big part of it.
Same.
But we
Ouch.
really we don't have like feral animal populations the way that a lot of other major cities do. It's weird. But we also
no,
just
we
we
have
compromise
coyotes.
that with wild actual
Coyotes.
animals that, eat.
Having an outdoor cat is
Food.
illegal in Calgary. So if you have an outdoor cat, you may want to think about that.
I have
Yes.
seen, I'm not joking, in the time that I've been in Calgary, which is, something like a decade and a half at this point, I think I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen an animal outside, like a pet-like animal, outside, and I wasn't sure if it was like an indoor or outdoor animal kind of thing. I saw one cat, a black cat outside, maybe a month ago with no collar or tags, but I was like, you just look like a well taken care of cat overall. So I assume that you're just gonna go home later. Like,
yeah,
but
probably.
I just
that you have a home to go to.
yeah,
that someone
there's no,
feeds you.
Yeah, that you don't have some little den somewhere underneath someone's porch or whatever it is. It's
But
like,
outdoor cats, they're harmful to the bird population, you know?
Cats are extremely harmful to
They're-
the wildlife, to local
they're
wildlife.
almost as harmful to the bird population as Jay is to the turkey population.
Oh boy.
No, I'm harmful to the duck population. The turkey population
Yeah, I
is
would
a
say
personal.
duck
I
before
heard that you
turkey.
had a turkey dinner for fun. I
For
heard
myself.
that you weren't even hungry. You're just like, there's a turkey. I'm cooking it for dinner right now.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. I heard sous vide was involved.
I hunted. No, those are two separate things. I hunted down the one that was walking around the community last year.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you
No,
can't
didn't
say
hunt
that.
down turkey.
No.
No, I
You
don't.
can't
I don't even
say
know
that.
the name of
Coyotes
that turkey.
claimed that kill.
Probably. No, I was kind of bored, so I just decided to make a turkey dinner with. We talked about this last year. I didn't prepare a whole bird. I prepared a turkey log,
Okay.
but it was
Okay, that's
still like
pretty fair.
Log.
yeah. We talked about this last year. Like instead of going to do a
Did you
whole
get
turkey
one of the
because
stuffing stuffed turkey logs?
this time I did. Last time I got a meat only one. I was like, they were okay, but the stuffing in the stuffing in the the stuffed logged ones. Jesus, that was so hard to get out. They're not bad. I made some gravy to go along.
When
got
the
some more
stuffing is
stuffing
in
'cause
the
I
turkey,
love stuffing.
when the stuffing is cooked in the turkey, it hits different because it gets the rendered turkey juices permeating it. It's so much better.
Yeah.
It's also harder to cook because there's now so much more stuff inside of a bird. But
Yes.
since you have a boneless one, it's way easier.
Yes. Even with stuffing, it cooks from frozen for 3 hours, and it's I think 1.5 kilos of meat. So it's like, sure,
That's still pretty damn good.
yeah.
That's
And
like
it's cheaper.
3
It's
pounds
cheaper
of
than a
meat.
turkey.
God damn.
It's cheaper than a turkey. A turkey's like $30, and a log is 15, depending on where you get it, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where'd you get yours?
Superstore.
Oh,
So
nice.
nothing
Fair,
fancy,
fair.
but they had it.
Accessible.
I think they actually get cheaper as the holiday season kind of comes. Thanksgiving
Oh,
is coming.
they absolutely do.
Yeah.
Once Thanksgiving comes around, like the closer you get to the day, there's a sweet spot like 2 or 3 days before Thanksgiving where they're trying to get rid of as many birds as possible.
It's true.
But like the day of or the day before, they're all that you have left are either the shitty ones that are too small or the super expensive ones because every other one has been picked over. So like you want to get it like sometimes a few days, like 4 or 5 days in advance. That seems to be like a good sweet spot.
Yeah,
But,
I didn't have like the whole deal. Like I didn't do like a pumpkin pie or anything like that. It was really just the cooked food plate, but it was great.
That's
Really
fair.
hit
can't argue.
the note. Like in the same vein where I really love going out for like Peking duck on for any given reason, like not just we're celebrating something and then having like excessive amounts of it. Turkey dinner is one of my favorite sort of like Western meals, but you can't get it all the time, and it's kind of annoying because it's a good meal. I
it
don't
absolutely
understand why I
is.
can't have it the same way I get like steak and potatoes. You know what I mean?
Because the reason is because it's not popular enough in the downtime, in the off times. It's not popular
guess.
enough to justify killing the whole bird when maybe one person or like 3
Just
people
take the log
in the
part of the
restaurant
turkey.
in the night might want some.
Yeah. I
Like that's
know.
the thing. Like in a restaurant on any given night, a regular, you'll maybe get like 2 or 3 customers.
But I
And
just
so
feel like
even the log will be too much.
we do that because we just have a lot, like we just do it with chicken instead. Like you can go to Swiss Chalet and get like a rotisserie chicken meal, but I want to get a rotisserie turkey meal. I don't know.
You can't, and that's the thing. Like back when I lived with my dad, it was always the thing where we would deep fry the turkey. We would do that outside.
Yo, deep fries
any
any
house fires.
It's good.
It was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And the next best thing that I have to imagine sous vide turkey with a nice deep fried finishing would probably be the best.
Maybe, but I don't know. You'd have to get it.
It would take like 24 hours of sous vide.
I will explain the part about the sous vide part, but Nancy, I think, has something.
Question. How
Yes.
well does turkey freeze?
If you debone it, it freezes very well.
I think
Because,
I
like,
think it
I know there are
freezes
some
just
meats
fine, like
that...
any other.
I guess, but, like, there are some meats that just go absolutely rancid if you freeze it. Like
Like
lamb
what?
is one of them. If you freeze lamb poorly, it tastes awful.
So are you talking pre-cooked or post-cooked?
Pre-cooked? Because, I mean, if we know that there are seasons for turkey,
With
and we
turkey,
know that there's a season
Oftentimes
where
when
they,
you get it from
try
the
to...
store, it
get
will
rid of
be
it.
rock solid frozen. Like
Right.
flash frozen.
So
I don't know if I've ever had a non-frozen turkey in my life.
So I guess what I'm saying is, can we stock up on frozen turkey and just have it throughout the year?
I have something for you here, because I didn't write this down, but you've activated my trap card.
Damn
I
it.
bought a sous vide. That's why a sous vide came up, because it was just an impulse buy. It was like, I don't know. I've wanted a sous vide for a long time. I found it on Amazon. I don't usually buy stuff from Amazon, but I don't care for a sous vide. I was just like, I'll get it. And it was only like 80 something bucks down from like 100 something. So I was just like, all right, I'll take this one. It has the good review ratio to price ratio. It was less than 100 bucks, whatever. I'll get it. It came in like 2 days after I made the order. And in the 2 days I was making the order, it wasn't like really I was trying to do this, but while I was grocery shopping at an aforementioned superstore, because that's what we like to talk about on this podcast is groceries.
It's happened before.
I found racks of lamb for $10. So I bought 8 of them,
Damn.
intending to sous vide at least one of them to see what that was like. I did that a couple of days ago over the weekend. My God, it was amazing.
I can believe it. I imagine.
Because I've never really had a lot of sous vide stuff yet, but I know as a cooking technique, it's something that's really good. And, I did it. I defrosted a rack of lamb because I bought the frozen stuff. And then, which is fine because it was done professionally, so it's fine that it was frozen. And then after I placed it in the water bath, cooked it that way, and then, took it out. I seared it on the outside to make sure you got, a little bit more texture and everything like that. But when I was cutting it up to sort of, because I didn't really want to fork and knife it at my desk, as I sliced it after I took it out of the water bath, or finished cooking it rather, the medium rareness of it was amazing. Like, it was just so even and thorough and so tender.
That's the
so
whole
perfect.
point. I know in my brain that sous vide is worth all of the stuff. And I have never actually had sous vide food yet. I just have a high opinion because I know it's good.
I
need to go do it.
I didn't even get the vacuum sealer because I was like, you can absolutely just do it with a Ziploc bag
bags.
and then sealing it in the water bath, kind of.
Yeah.
So I mean, it worked. Everything worked perfectly. It was the most tender and juicy lamb I've ever had, and lamb is usually like that, anyways. But my God, it reached new levels, and I am
Did
very
you get
happy
your
with
mint
that.
jelly with the lamb?
I do mint sauce, not jelly.
Ooh. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's like this Egyptian mint thing that you can buy. It's European, but my family has always done it with like lamb chops when I was a kid. So it's very much a nostalgic thing, and we've just never went with mint jelly.
That's fair. That's very fair.
But I would recommend it. It's very easy to use.
So,
I'll even
so
link
you've
it to
had
you
a
if you want it.
culinary adventure over the last week. You've had turkey. You've had lamb. Tell us
Yes.
about the tsukune.
Tsukune, first of all, is like chicken balls, but not the balls of a chicken, but they're like sort of in a way that you could do like chicken sausage, for example, except you don't do the casing. So it's like a mixture where you have like onion, green onion, maybe a little mirin, with
Is it
ground
like
chicken.
a chicken meatball, or is it like breaded and coated?
No, it's like a chicken meatball, and then you cook it on a stick, what is one of your favorite things.
Yes.
It is a stick meat food.
Yes. If you put food on a stick, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like some lizard part of our brain or
absolutely it is.
something about like, because everything you cook on a stick, you're usually doing it over fire or something.
Yes.
When you put food on a stick, it tastes better.
Yes.
It just does.
But yeah, I made some tsukune, which is like we didn't go with all like traditional stuff. We had like a bunch of different seasonings. Like we had some yuzu hot pepper sauce.
Oh
we
my
had
God.
like
Ooh.
we had like a nice teriyaki sauce. We had a sort of Japanese red pepper seasoning. So we made several different batches. Made some nice white rice, and to have it over just because I don't know, that kind of stuff always goes well with white rice.
Exactly.
In my opinion, there's very few things that don't go well with white rice.
Cake.
You just haven't done it yet.
What?
I feel like rice has been used as a dessert thing.
Actually, you're
lot.
right.
It's
Rice
fine.
pudding. Now that I
Yes.
think about
Rice
it.
pudding.
Oh my God. Well,
like-
but
I
that's
love
not
rice
plain
pudding.
white rice, though.
It's not. It's not the
White
same, but it
rice.
still uses rice.
Oh my God.
That
One
is white.
time. This happened a long time ago. And by that, I mean like maybe 2.5 years ago. So there was a lot of leftover rice. We made stir fry for dinner. There was a lot of leftover rice. And the next day, when I was coming home from work, it was just a leftovers night. No big deal. So I'm very tired. The kitchen is kind of dark. I take a scoop of the rice. I take some of the stir fry. I microwave it, and I head upstairs and start eating. And I'm like, this tastes funny. This tastes off.
Uh-oh.
And I look at it, and I look closer, and there's raisins in the rice. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the and I look closer. I turn the lights up, and the rice is more like brown. And then I realize it's creamy and cinnamony. And so over the course of the
wasn't-
day, my mom had taken the leftover rice
Your rice had
and
fermented
made rice
into
pudding
rice
out
pudding.
of it.
Yum.
Fermented itself into
But
rice pudding.
unfortunate way to find out. But yum.
You just know you
God.
just picked up dessert earlier than you thought.
So you had the spicy, the beefy, peppery veggie stir fry
Yeah.
over top of the sweet, creamy, cinnamony,
Delicious.
raisiny rice, and it was just, the two on each of the separated taste fine, but the stuff that's in the
Together.
middle,
Yeah.
ooh, that's a problem. That is a problem.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of different food over just the last week, just because I have some friends that wanted to do. We haven't. My high school group of friends, which includes some people from Otafest at this point, because I brought them into Otafest. One of our friends who moved down to the States for work, he comes up back every. He technically comes back every year, but we don't always get to see each other. Just sometimes it's timing or whatever it may be. But we got to get together very recently, which was great. But then because we are a very food motivated group of people, we made some more stuff at home. Had poke for the first time, which is, I mean, I knew I was gonna like it. It's basically sushi. in so many ways, except like saucier, you know?
Yes.
But it was great. We had like tuna poke that we made at home. So super tasty.
My first time having poke was poke.
Is it pronounced poke or is it poke?
I
thought it was
have no
poke.
idea.
Poke. It's poke.
Is it poke?
I was pretty
Because
sure.
every time I say a poke bowl, I feel like Nintendo's gonna sue me.
Oh, they're waiting.
I feel like they are. But it was
Why
at a place
don't we
in
have a
Marloop
poke bar called the Pokeball yet?
Doug Bowser is right around the corner.
because
like,
Nintendo will
take
sue
it.
them into oblivion. That's why.
As long as we don't use anything that's obviously branded Pokemon colors, it's fine.
Come try the
That's the
Magikarp
problem.
Poke Bowl.
You have a white bowl, and then you put some red sauce on the stuff over top of it, and Nintendo's there with the cease and desist.
And the police.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying anyways.
So the first time I had it was at a place in Marloop called Pacific Poke, and I didn't know what I was getting going into it, but I came out with some bowl full of some pretty good rice. But then I had some like spicy salmon, some
Not rice
tuna on
pudding.
top,
Veggies.
some jalapeno pineapple salsa, some like pickled onions, some corn something or other. I can't even remember. And I was tasting it, and every bite that I had was a completely different flavor profile. And every single time I was just like, my mouth is watering more and more. I just need to shove more of this into my mouth to keep the water at bay. And yeah, it's great.
The first time I ever had poke, I actually regretted not getting a larger bowl. And that is
Whoa.
not something you ever hear me say, because I eat like a bird. I sort of pick at stuff and I stop, and then I eat a little bit
Oh, I
more.
thought you
and
meant
then
you
I
swallow
stop,
things
and then-
whole.
Jay, why did you have to go there?
That's how birds eat. You said
Eat
I
like a
eat like a
bird.
bird. Birds eat things whole. You ever see a
Standing
pelican?
up, looking at the
Moving
ground, and then
along.
picking up the dirt for a little while. That's how.
So, I don't usually want more, because usually when you go to a restaurant, they give you portions, and usually those portions are designed for someone who's like twice my size. But in this case, I was
Everyone is twice
actually
your size.
still hungry by the end of it. Mm-hmm. I wanted more immediately, not like I wanted more later. I wanted more now.
Yeah. Although I haven't felt that way because of portion sizing. I felt that way because holy shit, that was delicious. That has
Yes.
been my experience.
Before we get anywhere else, because we've already mentioned Nintendo, I need to talk about the Mario movie voice cast. I need to talk about it.
It's such a weird cast.
It's first of all one of those like star-studded casts. So if anyone
Yeah.
hasn't watched it yet, Nintendo has their Nintendo Direct news releases, press releases, and if you haven't seen this yet or haven't watched anything about it or read anything about it, you're not a nerd, probably, because it's all anyone's talked about for the past like 3 days since it came out, because it's insane. They had a bunch of game announcements. No one cares. It's fine. There was like Splatoon and Bayonetta and some other stuff. It was cool. You can buy a new game. You can buy a new N64 controller. Whatever. Get out of here. They announced the
But
Mario
no.
movie voice casts. This is a project that's probably been going on for, I think, at least the last year, maybe the last 2 years. But they finally came out with the American voice cast.
I can't actually say that I can imagine the voices they will be using.
I have no idea. The only thing that made sense to me was Jack Black as Bowser.
Yeah.
Like that.
But,
that
like,
was like
Charlie
yeah,
Day.
I can understand that. But
And then
everything
you've
else.
got-
What is
everything
this
else in there.
twisted timeline that we live in that Charles Martinet can live and exist in the Mario movie, but he isn't the voice of Mario?
I honestly, that took me about as much surprise as finding out that not both Key and Peele were going to be in this.
This is basically cultural appropriation.
What boggles
we're
my
gonna
mind?
go there.
What boggles my mind? Correct me if I'm wrong, but none of the people who they really announced are professional voice actors.
They are
No.
not.
They're
To be
doing
fair,
that thing.
They're basically all professional actors.
Yes.
But there is
Yes.
a clear
And
delineation.
they've all
acting
probably
skills
had-
don't always translate to voice acting skills.
They've all
Agree.
had some experience in voice acting, but it doesn't make them voice actors in the same way that if I go on stage and did a skit of Romeo and Juliet, it makes me a thespian.
You are
like-
now a stage actor.
Yes.
When I look at the roster, even though I like everyone who they were talking about, like every single person, I was like, I like that actor. I like that person. I think they're great.
Seth
But
Rogen.
I feel like they're just saying these names to make it so that parents will take their children to the movie.
Yeah.
It's just blasting the media with names to make people interested instead of blasting the media with the Mario
They
to get
should
people
have just
interested in
given-
the Mario.
They should have just given Charles Martinet credit for half the voices that he already does, and he just has to do like 8 roles throughout the whole movie. It's like when what's his name? Eddie Murphy did like that one movie where he's like 6 different people in
Everyone.
a family. Yeah. And that's fine. If that movie can exist, why can't Charles frickin' Martinet exist in the Mario movie as Mario and Luigi and Wario and I don't know who else he does, but those are at least the main boys. I'm very disappointed. Nintendo.
Keegan-Michael Key is going to be Toad. I don't know
If
how to
Toad-
process this.
I can't do the voice, but if Keegan-Michael Key, God bless his soul, I love him, but
I love
if
him
he
too.
can't go hello kind of thing, don't want it.
What I personally can't imagine the character is just like speaking real dialogue. Has there ever been a Mario game where he's saying more than "Let's go, it's a me" and things like that? Like,
I don't want
has
him.
he ever
I don't
been?
want him to have a conversation. I want him to tell me it's a time to go.
Yeah, like it's just.
I want
have
Peach
less
to just
problems.
be like Mario.
I have
And I'll
less
be like,
problems
"Wonderful."
with the cast of the Mario movie and more problems with the existence of a Mario movie. And maybe this is like some kind of PTSD from the old 90s Mario movie. Because I remember watching that and I remember being so confused. And I
never
was like,
seen
I
the
was
original.
trying to like it because it's Mario. But at the same time, like even little child me was like, what the fuck is going on in this
I would
movie?
also like it to. I've never seen the original Super Mario Brothers movie, which is I've heard is a curse upon our kind. However,
We should watch it
I would
sometime,
love
but-
to.
Oh, boy.
Just because I like the actor, I want John Leguizamo to be in the Mario movie again.
You know what, Jay? You know the Cats Night we had 2 years ago? We should do that with the
right.
Mario Bros. Movie.
Fine.
Because it's actually a legitimately enjoyable train wreck.
Okay.
Wow.
I will say
Yeah,
yes.
okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm not
we should
doing
definitely
anything.
do that. But, like, the other thing, one other sentiment that I've heard of is I've heard multiple people say, why didn't they get Danny DeVito? He's got a good enough voice. He's got the right body type for Mario. He's not traditionally attractive, but he's Mario attractive. And I was just like, okay, here's the problem with using Danny DeVito. You're chasing the ghost of Captain Lou Albano at that point.
It's true. And I was just about to say, it's too bad about both Lou Albano and Danny Wells, because they would have been, to have them in the show would have just
On
been
one
like,
hand, it would have been very
chills.
nostalgic. but it would have been bad. It would not. The old Super Mario Bros. Super Show was not good. It was not good in a different way than the movie was not good. But
It was beautiful and great. It was, nostalgia chills. Rest in peace, Danny
Yep.
Wells and Lou Albano, our true Super Mario Bros. They really committed to those roles. It was great.
Oh, they did, though. Let's be fair. I'm not saying that they did a bad job. It was just
A product
the
of the
era
90s.
was not. It was a product of the 90s. Like I grew up in the 90s, and there was a lot of things that should stay in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember? No, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole right now.
What rabbit hole? What are we
the
going
rabbit
down?
hole of 90s shows that we won't go down again.
Oh, like Mummy's Alive?
Mummy's
Alive.
Alive.
Oh my
Such
god.
a good show. Gargoyles.
Oh, Gargoyles
love
was actually
Gargoyles.
no. I loved
Gargoyles
Gargoyles.
was amazing.
Mummy's
Except for that
Alive.
last season that no one
Oh, we're
admits
talking
exists
about
anymore.
like bad-ish 90s cartoons.
Yeah, we're talking about the bad
Oh,
ones.
you know what was really a product of the 90s, even though I feel like I looked this up and it was actually a product of the early 2000s? The Donkey Kong Country 3D CG cartoon.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Also, I remember like the Spider-Man 3D-ish cartoon.
Wait,
Ooh,
what?
I don't remember
A
that.
3D
That
Spider-Man.
was sort of a late 2000s entry.
Okay, if that was late 2000s, I understand, because there was a 90s Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely, like, that was,
Gold.
for my generation, the iconic
Absolute
Spider-Man.
unit.
I mean,
Yeah,
we could
That
talk
was the
about
definitive Spider-Man until the Tobey Maguire movies came out.
yeah. We could talk about all
true.
sorts of like I don't really know about the borderline bad ones. Like there's a lot of ones that I love just for like pure nostalgia. There's like Hey Arnold and
Hey Arnold was legitimately good.
yeah, like Real Monsters.
Real Monsters was
Real
amazing.
Monsters.
Yeah.
And you know what?
So good.
I did not think about Real Monsters for like a decade. And then Nickelodeon Smash Bros comes out and they've got Obelina as a playable character.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the little black and white stick with lips. Mm-hmm. For anyone who barely remembers that show.
Yep.
Also
She was a
Angry
king.
Beavers. Do you guys remember Angry
Angry
That was
Beavers?
okay.
Beavers.
It was an amazing show.
Yeah.
It was
That show is
hilarious.
so
it was
goddamn good.
it was
You know a
such
show-
a good precursor to the regular show.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess similar.
Yeah,
huh?
I can agree with that.
A show that
So
I
good.
didn't understand was Doug.
You know what? You're right. And the older I got, every now and then I would think of a scene from Doug and I'd be like, wait a minute. I get it now.
Am I growing up? Am I turning into a real adult?
The older when we're kids, we're SpongeBob, but as we get older, we turn into Squidward.
Like, what was it? Mr. Dink from Doug. Like the Dinks who lived next door to Doug's family and how they were always like displayed as absurdly rich and how they were always like doing whatever the hell they wanted. And I was like, when I was younger, I was like, well, who the hell are these guys? And why do they just live in a normal neighborhood if they're so freaking rich? And it didn't realize until Dio said that we're dinks. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, double income, no kids.
Yep.
And then it all made sense
Yep.
because children are so goddamn expensive that from the
They
perspective of family with children, any family without children
Yeah.
must be
Looks
goddamn
wealthy.
loaded.
Yep. That's exactly what it was. And I had that exact thought like not even that long ago.
It was 20 years after I watched this cartoon that I understood one of the main supporting cast's names.
Patty mayonnaise.
I can name another cartoon that actually does fulfill the perimeters we set before, which was like Street Sharks.
Oh my god, I love Street Sharks.
Knockoff Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember those.
There
Yeah.
were three. There were three specific cartoons exactly like Street Sharks that used the exact same formula. The first one was obviously Street Sharks. The other one was Biker Mice from Mars.
Yes, that was the other.
The third one, I
Biker Mice
can't
from
remember.
Mars.
Extreme Dinosaurs. I think that's what it was.
don't know
Extreme
that one.
Dinosaurs.
Oh, Cow and
Damn.
Chicken.
cow and chicken.
Yep.
That was a weird
Extreme
one.
Dinosaurs was literally just dollar store. Street Sharks.
Beast Wars is getting a sequel.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to call it Beast Wars now instead of Beasties?
In Canada, no. We still have to call it Beasties.
Oh, okay.
I heard about this because there's one of my regular viewers in my stream chat is a huge Transformers fan.
Oh yeah.
And somehow at one point we got onto the subject of Beasties. He's like, yeah, there's a new one coming out. And I was like, what the hell do you mean there's a new one coming out? The last one was in the frickin' 90s. It was by the same production company as Reboot. And the first one or two seasons were great. And then it got into like the Transmetals versions and everything was super shiny and just used like Fong shaders. And it looked awful. And it stopped making sense. And then I was like, wait a minute. It never made sense to begin with.
It's called
But
Transformers Rise of the Beasts, I think. I can't find a lot of information on it except that Ron Perlman is Optimus Primal.
Wow.
What?
Well, I'm going to watch that.
Did they just make the best one?
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
know.
It just
I
happened.
think
I'm
they
going to watch
did.
that.
Peter Cullen's still there apparently as Optimus Prime. I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be
Well, Black
like
Widow's still around.
Okay, so I didn't understand this
I
for the
can't find
longest
it, but
time,
maybe.
and I still barely do.
Yeah.
But like Optimus Prime truck, Optimus Primal gorilla, and then every other Optimus Prime in every other series are different characters, even though they're literally the exact same guy. I don't
have
understand it. It's basically Jesus
the
resurrecting himself
leadership
every
spark.
time. But that's exactly what it is. They have the leadership spark or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I don't pretend to understand it. I don't care about it. I just watch the fun robots fight.
Yep.
Robots.
Giant robots. You got me
And
there.
if we have giant gorilla Optimus Primal as Ron Perlman, that's right. The gorilla is playing the Ron Perlman. I am here for it.
Speaking of Fong shaders, Reboot. Because Fong, Principal Office, yes. That voice acting in that show will forever be one of my gold standards. It was so good.
Reboot was legitimately amazing.
It was amazing. I mean, like, the
And it's-
animation
and
hasn't
it's a
aged, but, like, it
Canadian
was
show.
a forerunner.
That didn't get a lot of penetration into the US. So it's actually it's a unique Canadian piece of content.
I suppose
I
you're right.
disagree about the animation not aging well because it was self-consistent and stayed self-consistent throughout the basic majority of its run. Like,
Except for that last bit. The last season, they changed up some of the animation and tweaked it to be a little more advanced. But like for the most part, it was very consistent. And
I feel like the major points where they could have been inconsistent, they played around it in a way that only Reboot could. Like take Megabyte. His 3D model, if they tried to make him sit down, the legs would have clipped, it would have looked bad, it would have been weird, it would have been an obvious
So what
error.
do? They detach his entire torso.
Detach his entire torso, his legs are standing beside his big imposing chair, and he's just floating in it, and you're just like,
He just
yes.
puts himself into his legs whenever he feels like going for a walk.
The legs are his accessory, and that's the way it should be.
Yep,
And
it's
I
great.
mean, because of silly little bullshit like that, I feel like that Reboot has the self-consistency that even now, even 25 years later, it's not bad looking. It's different looking, certainly, but it's not
It's
bad.
a little more reminiscent of like 90s cartoon animation, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that it has that look. Like, I personally don't think it's bad, but that's because I'm looking at it from like a childhood lens.
Yeah.
And I have like attachments to it, and I think it's fine and perfect
it's-
in all of its forms.
It's a good thing that they never made a sequel. They really just honored the
Never made a sequel.
sanctity of original Reboot and
Yep.
never corrupted it in any way, shape, or form.
Yep,
Jay,
never.
you asshole, I legitimately didn't know something like that happened.
Nope, it never happened,
Yeah,
Angelo.
I don't know what
Never.
you're talking about. They made
Nope.
the 4 seasons, and then they had a couple of movies, and that was it.
They had some comics, and that was it. Yep. Mhm.
Very well done. Good decision
Yep,
making.
that's all. That's all. It has a legacy, and it will stay that way. Yep.
Just like this episode.
Yes.
So, goodbye, everybody. We're cutting it off before it becomes too long and veers off in
Cutting
directions
it off
unknown.
before it becomes a reboot of something that's not needed.
Exactly.
Good night, everyone.